time, I just want him to help us get a road to Ball Park.
Are we supposed to get money for our park?
Hope this grant thing.
We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order of the 3MPO. It's 6 p.m., October 19th. Do we have any public comments? I don't think anybody's signed up. No? Nothing from the public, so first items, excuse me, approval of the minutes.
Public comment period.
That's what I said.
You
Okay,
did, there was
sorry,
none
we don't have any.
Yeah, sorry.
So I'll close the public comment.
I'm living in the past.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Committee reports. Citizens Advisory Committee, I was going to say, I saw him here somewhere. Christian?
Yep, hey there. Christian Wilco, chair of the CAC. So, some of the issues on your agenda that we discussed and our recommendations. So we reviewed the TIP, the proposed amendments, and had a good discussion about the three additions for the Industrial Park Access Road, and went back to primarily, we separated the three and unanimously recommended approval of the funding for the engineering phase from last year's fiscal year, extended through this year, to obligate those at the end of the month. Same thing with the right-of-way. Unanimous recommendation to approve. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, I didn't write, I think those were both
That's
unanimous.
correct.
Had a long discussion about the construction money. There was some concern about the public meeting, and, you know, until there was concern about rushing through to approve the construction money now without actually seeing what the project will be and where. And so, and with the understanding, we've been hearing from, you know, citizens, our neighbors and friends and stuff like that, especially those in First Ward, which is not far from where I live. Actually, I am in First Ward. So there's a lot of concern if the project then does move down to that area as one of the potential, you know, one of the options. So there was concern about rushing to approve the construction money without knowing more about environmental concerns and the right-of-way and the full costs and everything and location. So we unanimously recommended to not approve the obligation of those funds from the current fiscal year, which would have obligated them at the end of February. And just to wait and see what happens in the first two phases, as well as with the interchange. The modification, I think the Star City interchange improvement, unanimously approved that. And I think that was all that we voted on. Is that correct?
That's correct. Those were the only action items.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. You also did look at the sub-allocated fund recommendations.
Oh, what are my notes on that one, Bill?
That was applications by
minutes?
the city of Morgantown Star.
Oh, I had to
West
step away from that because, yeah, I had to recuse myself, right, because I'm on the board for the rails,
Yeah, for the-
MRTC, but it was unanimous approval of all three. I
That's
think the
correct.
recommendations of the
The staff
MPO.
recommendations.
Staff recommendations, yep, thank you. Happy to take any questions
I was
or
gonna say, do you
discuss,
have any
but,
questions, comments? Thank you, Christian.
yep, happy to do it.
Thank you.
Finance report, Mayor Lewis.
Beginning of August, we had a balance of $39,475.87. We had 5 deposits during that month totaling $157,141.55. Excuse me, 55 cents. 21 disbursements totaling $28,294.85, leaving us a balance of $168,322.57 to carry over into September. In September, we had 2 deposits totaling $25,535.67, 15 disbursements totaling $25,150.58, leaving us a balance at the end of September of $168,707.66.
Any questions? Comments? Thank you, Mayor. I also want to apologize to our cameraman, Dan. He's told me before in school board meetings about shuffling paper around because it drives them nuts on the recording. So. Okay, Executive Director's report.
Do we need a motion to accept
Oh,
that?
yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion carries.
I'm
Thank you,
sorry,
Mayor.
who seconded?
I did.
Now it's your turn.
Okay, thank you very much. I've had a busy period since the last meeting. I attended the AMPO conference, and I also attended a meeting in Charleston for the development of the state's safety plan. At that meeting, I was very fortunate to have a discussion with both the Director of Traffic Engineering as well as his staff concerning quite a few of our projects in the area, and really received some good news. They are ready to move forward with the installation of a signal at exit 155 where we've been requesting it. Now that's a project that will probably take 4 months. But
Yeah, better than.
School buses.
yeah, they're ready to move forward with that, so that's good. They're also looking at, they've done a fairly extensive plan which has been discussed with the city of Morgantown and the county commissioners and everybody for moving ahead with pedestrian safety. It came out of the work that we did with WVU, and that includes the installation of a crosswalk at Chestnut and Walnut, and other locations that we've discussed. They will have a large public meeting where they would come, similar to the one that Donna Hardy did at City Hall a couple of years ago to kick off all of that. We also discussed with them, got them to participate. They're consultants for the vulnerable road users plan that they're developing, which will be part of the state's overall safety plan, and got their consultants to participate in the SGA Safety Walk, which was held last night, and so some of those comments will be reflected in that, and we appreciate their time and effort on that. Also, further down in the agenda, we have 2 projects from suballocated funds where we did not receive an adequate coordination with DOH, and so staff recommended tentative approval until, depending on adequate coordination with DOH. Traffic Engineering in Charleston has agreed to take a look at those 2 projects, those projects being the City of Morgantown's pedestrian bridge design project, as well as the MRTC request for rectangular rapid flashing beacons at the trail crossings of the streets. So we will get feedback from them on those projects, and if they support those projects, then we can move forward with using our suballocated funding for those projects. So that was a very positive news. Also, I will be attending a meeting with Secretary Riston with the West Virginia Association of MPOs on October 31st to discuss the suballocated funding process and making sure everything that's in the state's adopted process for suballocated funding and applications for funding from the state are being followed. The state has lost quite a few staff members that handle those processes, and we want to make sure that the state is adequately manned for that issue. So the West Virginia Association of MPOs will be discussing that. Also, on Monday and Tuesday of next week, I will be attending the AMPO, the National AMPO Board Retreat for board members. It was supposed to originally be in Austin, Texas, but they couldn't do it because they're having a Formula One race there, and hotel rooms are like $1,500 a night. And AMPO's a nice organization. We're not that well off. So lucky me that we're meeting in Pittsburgh.
Just for the public,
Yeah.
the acronym.
The Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations, the national. So I will be doing that. I will also report that we've been having some issues with our credit card. They reduced our credit limit to where two of our members couldn't, our staff couldn't travel on the same credit card. And it's been like that for a while, but they've also, I have to call them every year and ask them to waive the fee that they're not supposed to be charging us because they try to charge it. And when I try to use it at hotels, they won't let me use it at hotels. So I am investigating getting a purchasing card from our current bank, and anticipate bringing a resolution for the board's approval to do that at the next meeting. But I wanted to let the board know that that would be forthcoming. And that's my report.
Any questions for the director?
Have you looked into other credit cards that might fit the bill?
I've done a little bit of online research. I can do a little bit more, but I think any card would require, and I will do some more, but any card would require a resolution authorizing me to approve, to go into quote-unquote debt for the MPO. So I will look at it, but as I went first to our existing bank because we have a relationship with them.
That's the same one we had the letter of credit.
Yeah,
in, so it's-
same bank we had the letter of credit with.
Yeah, I have so many credit cards thrown at me that I don't know what to do. The only one I've ever had problems with having any kind of acceptance anywhere has been American Express. We're not talking about that, are we?
No.
Okay.
This is a MasterCard, and I literally called and complained, and they said, well, we didn't know you were traveling. Well, I actually reserved the hotel rooms using the MPO credit card. And then when I went to use it to pay, they wouldn't allow me to do it. And so I had to use my own credit card,
Very good.
which I really don't mind doing, but I don't understand the purpose of having a credit card if you can't use it.
I agree.
So,
And I think if you do a local bank, then if you're doing these, you can call the bank before you leave and say, I'm going to be here. Because a lot of that's just for your protection, our protection, whatever, so,
and I understand that, but,
right,
you know, I did actually use the card to reserve the rooms.
right.
And still, both my trip to Charleston and to Cleveland for the conference, they wouldn't honor it either of them,
Because you're not there.
so.
All right. Anything else?
I just do want to add a note to thank DOH Traffic Engineering for working with us on these various issues. They have been very positive, and I did want to get that reported to the policy board.
Very good. Transportation Improvement Program amendments.
Yes, sir.
First one is, well, I'll let you go down through.
Sure.
But, oh, go ahead, then I'll.
No, okay. We have really two separate set of TIP amendments before the policy board. The first is for the Morgantown Industrial Park Access Road, which was referenced by Mr. Abilso, for the engineering, construction, and, engineering right-of-way and construction of the new proposed bridge that the policy board moved up in the Metropolitan Transportation Plan priority list. At the last meeting, the engineering is project SDBG 2023-312D. Federal funds, $3,720,000. Total funding, $4,650,000. And then we have project SDBG 2023313D. That's the right-of-way for the same project. Federal funds, $6,400,000. Total funding, $8 million. And the third project is STBG 2024025D, and that is for the construction of that project. Federal funds, $57,600,000. Total funds, $72 million. And Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we separate the TIP amendments into two separate resolutions, if that's the pleasure of the board. So I would put these three projects, adding them to the current TIP before the board for your approval.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we add the projects as described.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion, comments, follow-ups?
So, we're looking at engineering, right-of-way, construction,
That's correct.
and the Citizens Board was looking at, separating out construction.
That's correct.
Do we have any indication whether in doing that, I didn't know if we could specify a location or how we could do that so that we could indicate that we were for construction, we just wanted more information first. And would that hold up the project? Because I understand this is a project that needs to be
It could
done
potentially
quickly.
be a delay to the project.
The location has been chosen.
Well,
But when you had the public before, there were three alternatives.
You're right.
But the governor made it very clear which alternative is going forward, which was the third one.
and I think where the.
Which is,
And that was where the difference was,
And
yes.
the commissioner's correct. The confusion comes in,
Right.
at
It
the
was a
public
time.
meeting, they have to present all three alternatives
Yes.
for public comment.
Right. No,
And-
right, and made sense.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know at the time till the governor officially announced it at that last week.
he actually said
No, he said, yeah.
number three, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why that changes, I understand what, it gives credence to what they were worried about, but now it also explains that it's not going at the first ward, but it's going to option 3, which is up on 119.
Yeah.
Could I ask to suspend the rules, in case you wanted to comment? Yeah.
Well, you're not public comment, you're
Yeah,
committee
it's a
comment,
committee.
so.
Yeah, go
Part
ahead.
of us.
And we met the day of the.
You might want to do it at the microphone,
Yeah,
yes?
Yeah, we met the day of the public announcement.
Right.
and Long story short, with everything going on, I work at WVU for the moment. Without anything written down, it was a pretty big concern. So, right, and we know they can't choose anything until they go through those first steps, those
Right.
first two steps. So that was the concern, that we are obligating construction money before we know where it will be spent.
Right.
And it's like I think 15% of the 5-year budget in that category for the whole state. So it's a big amount of money. So, yeah, which shows the importance of the project, of course.
Right.
So that was the discussion that came up.
So you feel comfortable now that it has been,
I feel, well,
Decided.
I'm one, but I feel very comfortable.
I'm just asking you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he made it very clear and then brought out the map and then even pointed to it and discussed it. Yeah.
Just one kind of ironic comment is that we're building a bridge to carry trucks, primarily to the industrial center, where we can't get our local trucks to ride on the interstate because of the weight limitations on the bridges, on the limits down on the interstate. It has nothing at all to do, I suppose, with the engineering of this particular bridge. It's just that, again, it's another frustration.
No, the trucks would be on the weight limit of the interstate, because they have to travel the interstate, so. If they weren't going on the interstate, they can haul, heavier. The minute they hit the interstate, they're under those weight guidelines, so.
And you're suggesting that the trucks that we have traveling Route 7 are heavier than what the interstate could accommodate?
They can haul
Yes.
heavier on regular state routes than what you can haul on the interstate.
Thank you for that clarification.
So my point was that when they leave there with the milk, they know they're gonna be going multiple states, wherever, so they're gonna have to, they would load accordingly. Anything else?
Yep, thank you.
No, I'm prepared to support all of them. I just was wanting to
No,
make sure that we
it's
had
a
that
legitimate,
clarification.
very legitimate question. It's one that we had too, but
Right.
was agreed upon. We were surprised, and also I want to make it clear, he also stated, I want to part of the record, that he's committed to both.
Yes.
And the state is committed to both, the Harmony Grove and this, and then that was really important for us to hear.
He said several times,
Yes.
two accesses.
Yes, he made it very clear.
Well, that should put us all at ease. That was a concern.
Right.
Thank you, Christian. All right, so we have a motion and a second.
I'm sorry, who seconded?
I did.
Yeah.
You did.
I'm looking around.
We got involved in the discussion.
Yeah, I
I
know.
lost track too.
So,
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. If there is no objection, I'd like to pull the Star City interchange
Right.
until, because we're meeting next month. And so there's still some questions out there and clarifications and such, so if it's okay with everybody, we'll just pull it and put it on next month's agenda.
Do you want to take a formal vote on that, or?
I think I can do it as chairman, I just pulled it off the agenda, but if you want to, we can.
Just to be clear, I would move that we table it.
We'll need
Second.
all in favor of tabling?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. We shall table it. Now, we have, we're into sub-allocation
Yep, sub-allocated
project.
funds application.
Yeah.
We did a short summary of the sub-allocated funds applications, and we also provided a detailed memorandum identifying the items included in the sub-allocated funds allocations. We've received 3 allocations totaling approximately $900,000, I believe, for our sub-allocated funds, our STBG sub-allocated funds, and our carbon reduction program funds. The first application we received was from the City of Morgantown for the design of a pedestrian bridge over Mon Boulevard in the vicinity of First Ward. This project is a Tier 1 project in the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. And the application was for $400,000, and the city would be providing $100,000 in matching funds for the design of that project. The project itself rated very highly for the staff, since it is a Tier 1 project for the MPO, and it does help with pedestrian connectivity as well as cycling connectivity throughout the area. However, there was not a demonstration that the City of Morgantown had coordinated adequately to ensure that if the funding were provided to them, they would be able to actually get the project constructed. As I mentioned in the Executive Director's report, we have asked the DOH Traffic Engineering Group to review that application and give us their comment on it. So the staff recommendation on that project was to temporarily, well, not, what's the word I want, provisionally approve the application pending comments from DOH. And if the DOH will not coordinate with us and recommend it, then unfortunately we will be unable to fund the project, because I'm sure we don't want to create a design that could not be constructed. Similarly, the Mon Rivers Trails Conservancy is requesting the installation of 3 rectangular, rapidly rotating beacons for their trail crossings here in the Saberton area. They have 3 locations. Similarly, that project improves pedestrian safety and is therefore a high priority for the MPO's transportation plan. It also helps with pedestrian connectivity. Staff also recommended provisional approval of that project because it has not also been recommended and coordinated with the Division of Highways. We've asked the Traffic Engineering Group out of Charleston to also review that and give us comments on it. The third project is the City of Westover is proposing a pretty lengthy stretch of new sidewalk on Fairmount Road. And their initial application was for $250,000, and they were planning to get a CDBG grant to bring the other $250,000 needed to implement the full project.
For the public, the acronym,
I'm sorry, Community Development Block Grant.
so people that are streaming, they'll know what you're talking about.
And that's not even a transportation acronym. So. Anyway, in reviewing our budget for the project and the number of applications we had, we volunteered to the City of Westover to provide the full $400,000 in funding, and the city of Westover would provide the $100,000 of required match for the project. After we reviewed the applications, this is part of a Tier 1 project. It's safety, it's pedestrian connectivity, and rated very highly with the staff. The city of Westover has responded that they would be able to provide the match for the project. And so the staff recommendation would be to provide $400,000 of our SDBG sub-allocated funds for the installation of that sidewalk on Fairmount Road. Now, it will be a complicated project because you've got to meet the design standards with the feds and all of those things, but this, I think, would be very helpful for the city of Westover in expanding their sidewalk network. And Mayor Lucci, I hate to say this, but you probably need to recuse yourself from this vote, but I certainly would ask you to add any comments that you may have on this project.
It's something that's a long time coming, and thank you all for, if you would consider it.
So the staff recommendation was provisional approval of the MRTC project and the City of Morgantown's project, pending coordination with the Division of Highways, and full approval of the City of Westover's request in the amount of $400,000 of SDBG funds, with the provision that the City of Westover would be providing the required match. Now, one question that did come up, and this is a very valid question, if the project ends up running over cost, then the City of Westover could come back to the MPO for additional funding. They could use the CDBG funding that they've already applied for to supplement that, or the City of Westover could make up the difference. So that would be happen. This has all been planning level funding, evaluations done by the city staff. So we just wanted, that question did come up in our discussions with the Technical Advisory Committee and others, so I wanted to bring that forward to the board.
Question for
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I just have, go ahead, I have a point of order once we're ready to start taking action, so go ahead.
Okay, I have a question for Director. Could you confirm the amounts? Because I thought you said the city of Morgantown was the request was for 400,000, and this says 500.
Well, it's 400,000 in SDBG funding and 100,000 in match to make a total of it's a $500,000 project.
Okay, I didn't hear the 500,
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I
that
just
was clear.
clarify that.
On the conditional request, is there a reason to give the request prior to striking the deal with DOH? Does it help the negotiation with DOH to coordinate that project on the pedestrian bridge? Or is it something that coordination can take place first and then we commit the funds?
That is at the pleasure of the board. We were simply making the recommendation, it is a good project, and the board could approve it conditionally, or you could ask us to come back to you. But our recommendation is to approve it is a good project. It's a Tier 1 project in the Metropolitan Transportation Plan.
And Commissioner Arnett, I think that's a good point. I think the approval, having the approval from the MMPO in advance is a good bargaining chip with the DOH. They don't have to worry about going back to some future approval.
Yes.
So if
So that was part of our recommendation, why we said conditionally approved.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's conditional. If
Yeah.
that doesn't happen, then this goes away. So
Right.
So are we gonna take these separately so we
That
can
was my
recuse
point of
ourselves?
order.
I was going to separate.
Yeah, we ought to do them separately, so that way we don't lose everyone on the vote.
You don't have a quorum?
Yeah. Okay, let's do Westovers first, since it's,
So moved. Second.
Do you want us to remove from the room, or?
No,
No,
he doesn't. No, he just does that to vote.
so we have, I was just gonna open it up for discussion, which we've kind of discussed, but anybody have any comments, or you have a comment
How
on?
far is this project gonna go?
Not the grant.
You ask that every time, that's right. We've been trying.
Mayor, there's a map of the project included in the agenda packet.
Okay.
That'll show you.
We'll get to you.
Unless you annex. Never mind. Okay, well, did you have anything to?
No, I didn't.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Signify by aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passes. Congratulations to Westover. And make a note that Mayor Lucci abstained from the vote.
Yes.
All right. You want to take the other two together or individually? Or? Yeah, we
I'll
should.
move the Monroe River Trails Conservancy 3 project proposal forward.
Conditional.
Under the contingency.
Second.
Any comments, questions?
For clarification, Jeff, you're an ex officio on that board, right? Do you vote?
No, I vote on the Rails Conservancy. I'll abstain on that.
Yeah, he'll abstain from
I'm actually a
Yeah.
voting member on that board.
Okay.
Okay, so Commissioner Arnett abstains
Right.
from that.
I would like to abstain. My husband is on that board, and I'm pretty conflicted, I would say.
So the mayor, Mayor Celine, and Commissioner Arnett. I will make just one note for the policy board. MRTC requested 3 locations. We asked for a full evaluation of all those locations, and we said certainly if you did not feel that one of those locations met the requirements for those beacons, then we would take the state's recommendation on that. Just for the policy board's clarification.
keep
The
it
state may
clean.
come back and say 2 or 1 of them are good, and we won't approve the others. So that's just a caveat for the board.
Yeah, that'll keep it clean.
Just a comment, they've been familiar with those requests for a long time, that they've been trying to put them in place.
Yeah.
I think it's a very appropriate request.
Yeah.
And I would advocate that we pass it.
Okay.
All right. Have we voted? I've lost track. We've
No,
talked
we
so
have to
much.
vote
Okay,
on
all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries.
I'd move that we we approve the city of Morgantown's request for 500,000 conditionally on the,
DOH.
yes, on DOH.
And I suppose at that point in time, anybody that's here representing the city should
Right.
recuse themselves.
So all we need a second.
I stand
from
recused.
Mr. Blanco's did the second.
So Mayor Celine, Mr. Abuganan, and Commissioner Kawecki. I said Commissioner, I'm sorry.
Upgrade, Bill.
City Councilman Kawecki.
Lord Supreme.
He's not just commissioner.
We keep this up, there won't be
we'll
anybody
abstain.
left to vote.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Arnett, I'm sorry.
Well, not on this.
No, not
on
on
this
this one.
Oh, okay,
I was
that's right,
just from
that's
the
right. I was
MRTC.
thinking,
He can vote on this one.
yeah, he
Vote
can
on the
vote.
city.
Is there a trade to happen or something?
I-
Okay.
Okay, so all in favor signify by saying.
Well, I have some questions.
Oh,
Yes.
But my first question is,
Sure.
to make sure, how many do we need to have a vote for a quorum?
8.
I just want to make sure we have the 8 on this one.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we've got.
yeah,
Okay.
3, we have 11 and 3 candidates.
No, that's
so
fine, I just wanted to make sure, okay.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm against the project, I'm really concerned about this. One, when you ask 500, I've not seen any numbers or figures or design. All I see is a line. And I know we've looked at this before, and I've even mentioned this with discussions with the DOH, and back then, they were adamant that we're not gonna do this at all, and I know we can't even put poles up to put things on bridges. And we're gonna get at 500,000 that we possibly are allocating for this without even realizing whether I have real concerns
Well,
about it.
and that is.
And that's my concern.
That's the point of our conditional recommendation. I think the folks who have been against the project have been in the district, and these are folks who are in Charleston with traffic engineering. And so they are also the folks who supported the installation of the RFB on Patterson Drive.
Yeah, but there's
Which
a
the
difference
district was-
between a little of that and this, how hot, I just know what we had to go through at the intersection of 119 and 73, and it took 20 years, and now it's 1.2 million, and if this is gonna be, I just don't
Is this a
believe
sign?
this is just gonna be a possibility. Doing that intersection, it's 1.2 million. And
If it is this design or is this construction?
May I join the conversation?
that's why,
too?
no, you can talk, yeah, I don't
All
know.
Is this
well,
design or is this
let me-
construction?
This is design.
This is
Let me say
design.
that
This is for the
has
design.
been
Okay.
something that's been on the table now for many years
Yeah,
by many organizations. When we first had the River Group come in, that was one of the things they had suggested. This is part of what we're talking about when we're talking about a green belt around Morgantown and constructing this and connecting to our trails. It may not, I share your frustrations. I've experienced that. I realize how long it's taken us just to get lights under the bridge down
And
along,
that-
down along the trail. But if we don't move forward, if we don't make the commitment, it
This
doesn't
is
happen.
design plans.
okay,
So-
and that's what I want, okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
so if it is conditional, great,
Yeah.
but the idea is to get
We're
it out
trying to
there
move it forward.
and let's
Okay.
get in the game.
This
I
is
have no
design,
problem.
this is
What?
design funds, it's not construction?
This is
Yeah.
design. And also to clarify,
Oh, okay,
one other point, this actually will not tie up our sub-allocated funds until we send them a letter
okay. Oh, then that's
saying
fine.
it. So then we have the policy board's recommendation. We get back from DOH in Charleston, we'll be fine with it. Then I send the letter, and that's when the funds actually get.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, and we
But
have.
I think the
sim-
bigger point too is, if they do approve it, that gives leverage that we haven't had
Correct.
before.
Right.
So that's important.
So we have things like, kids from South, who are wanting to access the trail going down Dorsey, where some of the sidewalks are 4 feet above the,
Yeah.
on bicycles and trying to get, it's a little bit nutty not to have that park and those.
And can't get to it.
People in that neighborhood can't get to the trail.
Okay.
So all over this region, we should be looking at how to have people be able to access the trail.
Okay, that's fine. That answers my question.
Anything else?
We have a motion and second. Commissioner Sikora?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Make sure.
you two would.
Yeah,
Yes.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve was saying.
Okay. Make sure we're done.
And you have the abstentions for the
Yeah.
minutes?
So we need to vote.
You got all that? Okay. Very good. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same? Motion carries. All right. I think we're up to draft transportation improvement program.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this document is being released, or has already been released to the public for public comment. We released it early so the public would have adequate time to meet our public involvement policy requirements. This is not an action item at tonight's meeting. It will be an action item at the November meeting. I will let you know that currently the delayed project that we delayed till next meeting, the Commissioner tabled, is advertised in there. It is in there as if we had adopted the amendment. If the policy board at that time wants to, they can amend it and take it out.
That's fine.
But I just wanted to let you know that it was in there because we anticipated for the public that it had a good chance of passing.
Okay.
But it can be changed to reflect the policy board's potential tabling. So this is an informational item.
All right. Other business. Anybody have anything for the good of the order?
I just want to announce that in talking with DOH officials, they, Bill had recommended that we would have a meeting with the state and the District 4 officials at our next meeting. And that's tentatively what we're looking at, and that's all I'm going to say.
That is a possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility. So that is at least, when people have been asking, well, when are they going to meet with us? That is tentatively what we're looking at. Okay.
Anything
Just
else?
a couple things. Wondered if we had an update on the downtown study?
Oh, I'm sorry, that was on my, that downtown study, actually, we have given them notice to proceed. I knew I missed something on the executive director's report, and they are collecting data next week for the project. They will be here Tuesday and Wednesday collecting data. We will be handing over to them our regional travel demand model and all of those kind of good things. And once we have the initial data collection and the modeling set up, which takes a little while, then we'll be looking to come forward to the steering committee and giving everybody an update on the status of that. So they are moving forward.
Rough estimate of completion, just pie in the sky.
We gave them a completion date of this coming spring, meaning May, April and May. And there will be steering committee meetings and public meetings involved with that.
Which is the
My
downtown.
concern is that there's some immediacy, I guess, to how the city might react to the Richwood project that this may affect. I'm just curious to see what the outcome might be.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. One other thing, we talked about the green belt. I was approached by the Green Space Coalition. They're an advocate for the green belt around Morgantown, and they would like to promote it with a brochure that they would go to other agencies trying to solicit cooperation and perhaps, I don't know, enthusiasm, funding, whatever. But they asked if the MPO might have some GPS information available that would be what our projections might be in terms of making a green belt, and if so, could we share it?
We have the same topographic data that's available to the county. We partner with the county on that, and we have staff that can help provide that data.
Is that something that would be appropriate for them to make the request, or shall I
Yes.
make the request?
Yeah, absolutely. They can make the request, or you can make the request.
Excellent, thank you.
So
Will do.
we will be happy to assist with that.
I just wanted to acknowledge Senator Oliveria, if you didn't hear on the radio the other day, the work he's doing in Charleston. He was talking to the DOH, advocating for our region, even brought up Brockway. So I thought it was good. I was happy to hear him and his work down there. So thanks to him, and thanks for paying attention.
I just wanted to clarify the downtown micro simulation study so that the public knows it's basically the study of all the downtown traffic patterns and so forth.
I also meant to put in the update, we've had so much going on. We do have downloaded quite a bit more of accident data, crash data. And Jing, with our staff, has been working with city staff to formulate that and identify hotspots throughout the area for crash data. We got the download about 6 weeks ago, and they're working diligently on that. We also had a concern expressed by one of our Citizens Advisory Committee members who is legally blind. She is a frequent transit user, and she identified that they have quite a few concerns at the Maple Drive intersection there on 705 Patterson, whatever you want to call it, right there. MPO staff did a data collection on that and observed pedestrian movements through that area. And we've also gotten data, which we're just now had gotten access to from Mountain Line about the number of their riders who get off at that location. And so we will have a small draft report on the need for pedestrian improvements in that area coming also to the policy board next month.
Anything else?
That's got it.
All right, our next meeting will be November 16th at 6 p.m. as it stands right now. So we will be adjourned.
Okay.